What's going on, YouTube? So today I'm going to do a review on the flat panel Smartpass amplified indoor TV antenna with high gain 4G LTE filter. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're in range of a TV station. So if this is an 60 to 80 mile range antenna, if you're 100 miles or 200 miles away from a television broadcasting station, it might not work for you. So the best way to do that is just go to Google and type in TV station locator FCC. And then this right here, the DTV reception maps, click on that. I'm going to put in my zip code. I'm going to click that. I'm going to hit go. So now what it does is it brings up a bunch of television station coverages. Strong is green, moderate, weak, no signal. So right here you can see NBC, CBS, ABC, PBS, unknown, ION. Those are very strong signals. And then the moderate signals, PBS, NBC, ABC, CBS, once again, those might be from a different city. So if I live near the Youngstown area, I'm going to pick up very strong signals from my local TV station, but these might be Cleveland stations and so on. And then once again you go down and it's going to tell you that it might not be so great. See the red down here? So that's the first thing you want to do. Make sure that you're in range to the closest television station. If you're not in range, it's not going to work for you. So long story short, I've had a satellite television for years and years and years, and every time I turn around they're jacking the price up on me, and it's getting to the point that it's just ridiculous. So I want to quote unquote cut the cord when it comes to my cable television. I did go out and buy a few different stick-on, hang-on-the-wall antennas that you basically, like I just said, stick them on the wall and then screw them into the back of your television. And they work pretty good, but they only give you about a 30 to 40 mile range if you're lucky, and that's in good weather. That being said, I wanted to try something a little bit better that I could put outside or inside and see if I could boost that signal. Just so you know, the reason I'm cutting the cord is not that I'm not watching television anymore, is that I went out, hint hint, and I bought a jailbroken Fire Stick, and Cody was installed on that Fire Stick, and I can pick up any movie I want. The problem is that I can't pick up my local stations with it. I've tried, I'm just in an area that doesn't provide good local stations. So I'm still gonna get all of my movies and shows from other channels, just not my local station. So that's why I'm going out and installing this antenna. I don't wanna make this video confusing. The problem is that I'm still in contract with my current company, and it's gonna cost me $400 to get rid of that service. Now that being said, I was paying extra for the upstairs television and the office television. All I really wanted was my living room television to be run off of the current provider. So what I'm going to do is leave the provider that I have now on my living room television, but I'm going to install a splitter and run my other two televisions off of this antenna. My bill went from $150 a month to about $35 a month just for running that one television with my local stations. Once my contract's up, I'm completely getting rid of the service provider I have now, and all I'll have to do is hook up my cable into the new splitter that I'm going to install, and I won't have to worry about getting my local stations anymore. So let's take a little look about the features that this comes with. And then we'll actually show you how to hook this thing up. So you can run multiple televisions off of one antenna, and it should give me an 80 mile range. Now believe it or not, even the smaller antennas that I have hooked to my televisions as we speak, they come in better than the actual service provider that I'm getting now. They're coming in at 1080p. So I'm excited about this. We're gonna go over some of the features, and then we're gonna hook this up. So once again, this is an indoor or outdoor antenna. Now I'm not going to put this indoors because it's pretty large. This thing measures with the base. This is 23.5 inches high, and it is 10 inches across. So if you want this in your living room, that's fine. The problem is it's going to take up some space. on the bottom here, you actually have the stand. So once again, you can put this in the house. Or if you want, you can just take the stand off and it just simply slides like this. So you don't have to worry about the stand if you're going to hang this outside. This right here is where you're going to actually mount it to the house. Or you can run a pole up through here. You can go out and buy a pole for maybe, I don't know, $10, $15, $20 and mount it that way. Or if you have an existing antenna that has a pole already, you can hook it up that way. The way you're going to hook it up, if you already have a pole, is with this bracket right here. So they give you basically everything you need to hook this thing up other than a splitter. Once again, I'm going to have to go out and purchase another splitter, but they're cheap. They're about $10, $15, and I'll show you that. But if you have an existing pole, or if you go out and purchase a pole that you attach to your house, you just use this bracket and then screw it into the back right here. So it makes it very convenient. Another thing you're going to get in this package with the antenna is the 40-foot long cable. So what we're going to do is, once we get this hooked up on the house, all we're going to do is plug this in here. Now I'm going to use this end because it's going to be sitting up and it's going to be protected under here. Or this cable comes with this plastic protector. I'm actually going to probably use that into the splitter so it's weather resistant. I don't know which way I'm going to go with that yet, but 40 foot should give you more than enough length to hook this up to a splitter down lower on your house where mine's at, and actually put this up on the roof or the side of the house. So you're going to get that. You're also going to get a power booster. Now you only get one power booster with this. I don't think you're really going to need it, to tell you the truth. I think this one here, this antenna, is going to have so much reception, and with it being outside, I don't think you're really going to need this booster, but you only get one. So if you're planning on hooking this up on multiple televisions, you're probably going to have to go out and get a couple more. They might run you about $20. We'll try it with and without. But I really don't think if you're putting this outside, you're really going to need this. If you put it inside, if you put it in the attic, or if you're setting this in the living room on maybe your fireplace, then you might need this. But if you place it close enough to a window, you probably won't. How that actually works is you're going to plug this into the television, and then the existing cable is coming out of your wall. And then this right here plugs into this portion right here. And then you'll just turn it on and off like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the new splitter, and then we're going to mount this to the house, and we'll see how it works. All right, so right now I'm outside, and you can see my giant mess of cables that I got from my current satellite dish provider. What I need to do is actually put up another splitter for this, because once again, I'm going to keep the dish going to the one television in my main living room. And once my contract's up, I'll just get rid of that, and I'll add that cable to the new splitter that I got. I went up to the Home Depot, I just got back, and this was about $8, $9. And you can see here there's an in, and then there's 3 outs. So I want that cable going to my actual antenna to go into the in, and then I will run those cables to the television on the out. So let me put this up against the house, and we'll get right back to you. So what I did was added that splitter right next to the wires that we currently have, right next to the old splitter on the left here. You can see that there. You don't want to push in your siding all over the place, so if it's already kind of a mess in one area, just try to leave it close to the one area. That way you can just hook those cables directly up to the splitter that you just installed. Long story short, it was very simple. I just put a couple screws, but I did have to get a couple longer screws to reach the backer board in the back. But all in all, very simple to install. All right, so now what I want to do is attach this to the house. There's a bracket on the back here that I'm going to take off. I'm not going to use a pole. I'm actually just going to attach this bracket right here. And then once I attach that to the house, I'll insert the screw back in and connect this to it. So now what I did was attach the bracket to the house, and I'm going to attach the antenna now to the bracket. Before I actually attach it though, I am going to hook up my cable first. So you can see this end right here is what they want to go right here. I'm actually going to do it that way because of the way this is cut out. So I'm going to put this in. It's a little tough to get lined up here. So let's bring that down here. pretty nice and tight. I'm going to slide this protection cover right up here. Doesn't really want to go in all that well. So let's see if we can maneuver it. All right, there we go. So that goes like that, and that's going to protect the elements from getting in. So now, as you can see, I installed the bracket, and then all I did was put that screw back on and attached it right to the bracket, the actual antenna. And then I tilted it towards the station, just like my satellite dish is. So now all I have to do is hook up the cables onto the new splitter. So now you can see I just hooked up the cable to the new splitter. And then I'm going to attach my current cables to this. So these were first used for the satellite TV, but they're no longer connected to the office and the bedroom. So I'm going to disconnect them and use these to hook up the actual antenna to the television. What you need to do is figure out which one goes to which television. So this one right here I know goes to the television in the living room. I don't want to disconnect this one because I'm still using the dish for that. So now what I actually want to do is I hook this up to the new splitter. I want to leave the direct or the satellite dish in this splitter here that I have, because I'm still going to be using that. I got to figure out which ones of these cables actually go to my televisions. I believe this is the main living room, so I would want to leave that connected to this splitter with that dish satellite. And I got to figure out which other cables go to the bedroom and the actual office area, and then I'll find those out and I'll hook these up to the out. Alright, so what I found out was these two right here actually go from the dish down to the splitter. This actually goes into the living room. This right here, we actually had these added separately when we purchased the house, one for the bedroom and one for the office, and I'm guessing these are split somehow in the house. And this right here was added to the new splitter, so you can see how I hooked that up there. So all I needed was the antenna hooked up on the one side, and then the two televisions going into the out port right here. So I went upstairs and actually ran the channel scan on the television, and the picture's coming great. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All right, to show you how this television is hooked up now, we have the original cable that I was using off of the satellite dish. Okay, this was already installed. I didn't install this. If you don't have this installed, you can find other YouTube videos to show you how to do it, but it's not that hard. You're gonna have to fish some wires to the wall, but this was already here. So I'm gonna use this existing cable. Remember, we plugged this in outside on the splitter. So now that this is already hooked up like we talked about, all you're going to do is take that cable and plug it right in here and screw that in. And now you should be hooked up to the antenna, and we're going to scan for some channels. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to actually scan for these channels here. Pretty simple to do. I'm using a Samsung TV. I don't think it really matters as long as it's a digital television. But I'm going to go to menu on my remote right here, menu, and it's going to bring that up. And I'm going to go down to broadcasting. I'm going to go over and I'm going to get an auto programming. So I'm going to hit auto programming and I'm going to hit start. Now this usually takes a couple minutes, about a minute or two. And it says here cable or air. I want air. That's for the antenna. So I'm going to hit the select button again, and you can see now it's actually trying to download those channels or memorize those channels. And you can see here is for DVD air. So this is for your antenna. So we're at 50% right now. I've actually already done this once, so it goes a little bit quicker the second time. But once again, it usually takes about a minute or two. Now don't freak out if you go to hook this antenna up and you have nothing but static or it says no signal. All you have to do is run this auto program, this scan. If you don't run the scan, you're not going to get the channel. So make sure you run this scan or you're just going to end up with static. So now we're at 72%. I will turn this back on once it hits 100. All right, so now we're at 100%. I'm going to zoom in here. And it says 18 channels are memorized. So all I'm going to do now is hit close. And I'm going to go return back to home, get out of that. And as you can see, we have local stations. And we have a few other stations. Now I run this about once a month. I don't know how well it's picking up, but I got to be honest with you. I believe that the satellite dish only runs local channels in HD. This is picking up 1080p, so it's actually clearer than what you would get from your cable or your satellite dish. So this is what they're talking about, cutting the cord when it comes to satellite or cable providers, and that's exactly what I did. Now, once again, for my CNN or you know, my movies, I'm using Kodi, and if you don't know anything about Kodi, check Kodi out. It's amazing. It's very awesome. But you can stream a lot of your CNN channels, your Fox News, and so on right off of YouTube. So if you have a smart TV, you can do that, or right off of the Fire Stick, the Amazon Fire Stick, or the Kodi. So it's an amazing product. Check that out. But once again, this product here, this Antop, the flat panel Smartpass amplified outdoor indoor HDTV antenna, it's awesome. And this works on 4K televisions as well. So if I were to give this a rating between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, hands down 5. It's not that hard to install. There's a little bit of know-how. Once again, there's some other great YouTube videos out there that show you how to do things, you know, when it comes to installing this. So 100% recommend. Cut the cord, you know, and let these cable providers feel the pain like we felt the pain, because they are pretty expensive. And hey, if this helped you out, please thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you later.